Looking to buy the best budget smartphones on the market this year? Today, we'll be taking a look at the top 5 best budget smartphones to buy this year. And the links to all the smartphones mentioned in this video will be in the description below. If this is your first time here, smash the subscribe button and ring the bell icon for more videos like this. Now, let's get straight to the video. Number 5. Nokia 7.1. The Nokia 7.1 brings a ton of value to a $350 unlocked phone. From the dual camera setup that shoots impressive low-light photos to the premium feeling 6000 series aluminum design, you would be forgiven for thinking this device costs double its actual retail price. The best part isn't even the hardware. The phone ships with Android 9 Pie on board, and thanks to Android One, we'll get 2 years of platform updates and security patches. The downside is that it's only compatible with GSM carriers like AT&T and T-Mobile in the US, meaning that if you're on Sprint, Verizon, or one of their prepaid subsidiaries, you're out of luck. The Nokia 7.1 packs a whole lot of phone into $350. It has a powerful Snapdragon 636 processor and 4 GB of RAM, along with ample 64 GB of storage and a beautiful 5.85-inch screen. If you don't mind a bit of a notch, it's a looker too, with a sharp aluminum frame and lovely dual camera rear design. Number 4. Samsung Galaxy A50. Samsung isn't usually associated with good, cheap phones. At least that used to be the case. But in 2019, the company has invested tremendously in its new Galaxy A line, bringing the best features of its flagships down to a much more reasonable price bracket. The Galaxy A50 is one such beneficiary, with a beautiful 6.4-inch Super AMOLED display, probably the best on this list, along with a super-fast Exynos 9610 processor, 4 GB of RAM, 64 GB of storage, and a huge 4,000 mAh battery. But the awesome thing about this Galaxy A50 is its triple rear camera setup, which includes a main 25-megapixel sensor, an 8-megapixel secondary super wide-angle camera, and a third 5-megapixel sensor for depth. There's also a massive 25-megapixel front-facing selfie camera too, hidden in the teardrop notch. To justify its $275 to $350 price, depending upon where you buy it, Samsung's included an under-display fingerprint sensor, something missing on all other phones on this list. Samsung's also making a big deal of its One UI software, which runs on top of Android 9 Pie. Number 3. Pixel 3a. The Pixel 3a manages to pack all the best parts of the standard Pixel 3 into a more affordable package by using a middle-of-the-road chipset and a polycarbonate body. The result is a nearly identical-looking phone for hundreds less that takes incredible photos using the same image processing and night sight technology. While it'll run you an extra Benjamin over the MOTO G7, the Pixel 3a is without a doubt the phone you should look at if photography is your main priority. It's not just good for its price. The Pixel 3a takes some of the best photos of any phone on the market, even though it has only one lens. You also get a squeaky clean build of Android with 3 years of guaranteed software updates. It's also available at 3 of the 4 major US carriers, which is a first for the Pixel lineup. The Pixel 3a takes absolutely stunning photos using the same image processing as a standard Pixel 3 and comes with a promise of 3 years of software updates. It's a bit pricey compared to the other phones on the list, but it's the best photography option by a mile. Number 2. Nokia 6.1. The Nokia 6.1 packs a lot of phone into its $229 price tag. It may be a year old at this point, but the phone's got a lot of life left thanks to its Android One software and promise of at least 2 years of platform updates. It was already updated with Oreo to Pi last October. Unlike the MOTO G7, it has a rigid aluminum frame and you can feel the 182-gram heft as soon as you pick it up. The front is covered with 5.5-inch 1080p LCD display in a bit of a dated 16:9 aspect ratio, but that's really the only whiff of antiquity you'll find in this excellent device. The Snapdragon 630 and 3 GB of RAM ensures that there's breathing room for performance. And Nokia has always been excellent about maintaining excellent performance on its budget phones, while releasing regular security patches and bug fixes to round things out. And a 3000 mAh battery keeps the phone alive all day and well into the evening. Nokia 6.1 is a huge upgrade over the original Nokia 6, especially in the performance department. The camera is also pretty good for the price segment, though it's not the same level as a MOTO G7, nor our upgrade pick, the Pixel 3a. But for $229, this is one of the best values in smartphones around. Number 1. MOTO G7. The MOTO G7 and its other budget counterparts on this list have awesome high-resolution touchscreens, reliable software, and great cameras. Some features like NFC drive up manufacturing costs, so you have to weigh whether you need NFC-enabled features like mobile payments. And the MOTO G7 also lacks the same graphical power as its more expensive competitors, but most games play without an issue, even at medium or high settings, because Android games are designed to play on hardware of all sizes and prices. At the same time, Motorola has given the G7 a computational and memory upgrade, shipping the new Snapdragon 632 along with 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage standard, numbers that would have been unheard of in a $300 phone just 2 years ago. The MOTO G7 has all the major features you need in a modern smartphone. Motorola has had years of practice making the Moto G line into a budget powerhouse. When it designed the first Moto G back in 2013, it eschewed expensive materials like metal and glass and focused instead on the core experience. Starting in 2016, Motorola began finding ways to add important features like fingerprint sensors. And now the Moto G7 is made from a premium feeling and resilient plastic frame and is covered on the front and back with Gorilla Glass. But while the Moto G lineup tends to use less expensive components and materials, Motorola's excellent manufacturing results in a device that does not sacrifice quality. At the same time, Motorola understands its audience, which is why it includes a dual camera setup in the Moto G7. The second camera adds depth effects like portrait mode without sacrificing the excellent pedigree of its 12-megapixel sensor. Finally, if you're in the US, the Moto G7 is one of the few sub-$300 phones that work on all 4 US carriers, and it's even sold directly at a few carriers. Another advantage of Motorola's long-standing relationship with companies like Verizon. Thanks for watching.